Hey everyone. A while back there was a new behind the scenes video for the Return to Silent Hill movie that's coming out January 2026. And I'm a little behind talking about it. It was released, I think, about 10 days ago or so. But I was busy playing Chronos the New Dawn and then Silent Hill F, and I wanted to be kind of done with those before kind of talking about new stuff or videos or anything else. So in this video, I just want to do like I've done in my previous two behind the scenes videos you can see here. This one here from a year ago was part of the Silent Hill transmission, and that was a pretty big one. That went through a lot of stuff. And then this was a deep dive of the teaser trailer that came out about a month ago. So if you want, you can watch those first before watching this. This new video is not super long, but I just want to go through it and see whatever details we can pick up and kind of just talk about it as a fan of the games and the first movie. So yeah, we'll just watch it first and then I'll talk about it afterward.
Akira Yamaoka is not only the
The
composer of
man.
the first four original games of the franchise, he was also the producer of the game. So Akira Yamaoka, through his music, has given to the game more than just the sound. He gave the soul of the series.
僕は本当に1の 1作目の時から監督に対しては、まあ、技術もしっかりですけど思いっていうのは最初本当に初めて見た時にマジ感動して、まあ、本当に、サイレントヒル知ってますけど一視聴者として本当 CG も何も入ってないんですけどこれ本気で感動してこの映画やばいなリファレンスでも、僕の音楽が乗っかってるんですけどいやもうこの音楽でいいんじゃないかなとかっていうぐらい思いましたけど、結局というか作りの、監督のやっぱりサイレントヒルに対する愛というかすごいリスペクトも感じますし。
All the fans of the game know by heart the melodies composed by Akira Yamaoka. I have a great knowledge about soundtrack, but I don't know any other music which could be like the one of Silent Hill.
音楽的ではなくそれがその音自体に何かこう人間が感じるものその素材を用いて音楽的なアプローチをしたらよりもっと効果的なサウンドのデザインっていうのができないかなっていうのがもともとサイレントヒルを作るサウンドを作る時の最初の発想だったんですね。だから音楽的な楽器を使って表現するんではなくもうその素材自体にもともと持っている嫌な音っていうのも変ですけど人が聞いたらちょっとすごくこう違和感あるなひょっとしたらこの音だったらすごく気持ちいいなっていうのもそうですけどその素材自体が持っているエネルギーを用いてサウンドのデザインをしていく音楽を作るっていうのもちょっと違くてその素材を用いてサウンドのデザインをしていったらよりもっと独自性があってもっと楽器を使わないでよりもっと人に深く届くっていうのはその素材自体が持っているエネルギーが、ホラーゲームなので怖さっていう究極の怖さと、生と動ですよねすごいとても怖いっていうサウンドとすごく静かなエモーショナルに訴えかけるようなサウンドどちらもこう行き切ったというか。
The first thing that I said to the producer when we were prepping the film was, if there is not the music of Akira Yamaoka, I can't do the film. I can't imagine the film. I'm
Gotta have that
working
music.
on his creation. I never forgot that.
Man, it's hard to believe it's been almost. Well, it's gonna be a good. Yeah, it's been 3 years since this was first announced. And as a fan of the movie, good and bad, the first movie, I mean, and a huge fan of the games, I'm super excited about this. So, actually, yeah, sorry. so, le- so let's just go and go through the deets, see what I can pick up in the background, and just talk about, as this is going. But yeah, it's been quite a while. It's almost here. Uh, it's been a year later after the Silent Hill 2 remake has come out, and I'm still on a super high on that. Now, one thing you can see is them doing editing and adding some music here, obviously, is you could see James running through somewhere, some building. I'm not sure exactly where, but you could see him running around with his flashlight in a panic. you know, uh, again, what the first movie, not perfect by any means. Made some deviations from the first game story I did not like, but also did a lot of things I really liked. All right, so here's something that's interesting. So this is near the start of the movie where James, you know, finds the radio and then comes across his first lying figure. But what's interesting is they're showing the town being changing into the other world right after this scene, before he gets to the apartments. So again, I mentioned in my previous videos, some things are going to be a little out of order or tightened up for time because it's an hour and a half movie compared to like a 8 or 16 hour game, so they can't do everything. So they have to trim things up and move things along at a much faster pace. So that's what they're doing here. They're just going to have it where the other world happens now, and then he goes to the apartments, and he goes through the apartments as the otherworld version. You know what, it's not the worst idea. It's a way of kind of driving him from this situation to maybe the apartments is the first safe place he can get to, who knows. So that's very different. So that'll be interesting to see how that carries out. And it was like that in the first movie too. Like when he got to this, when they went to the school, it wasn't darkness yet. Whereas in the game, it was darkness first before you get to the school. So some things, like I said, are going to be a little different. Now, what's interesting is this vein looking or roots. I'm not exactly sure what this is meant to be type effect. We've not really seen that. Well, definitely not in the Silent Hill 2 games at all. If anything, this looks more like what you would see in Silent Hill F. So this is this movie's version of the other world taking over the town, which is pretty neat though, because we didn't really get to see that so much in the previous movie. So we actually get to see the town itself taken over, and of course the original stock footage. So that's going to be interesting. Now, anyone who's played the games knows exactly what this is. This is the scene where James meets Angela in the room with the large mirror. And Angela's lying on the ground, and she has a knife in hand, and she looks into reflection at the knife. That's what this shot is. Now, one, this confirms Angela's in the movie, again, like we saw in the previous behind the scenes. We don't know if her name's going to be Angela. It wouldn't be surprised me if they changed some names in this compared to the games. I don't know why they would, but sometimes they do it for reasons. I don't know why. So what's interesting is, like I kind of picked up on the previous behind the scenes, they have her kind of with the, I'll call it the Dahlia, the movie Dahlia effect, where Dahlia in the first movie was made to look, almost homeless, very exhausted, very tired, very weathered looking. Eyes are very like as if he hadn't slept for, you know, weeks or something like that. That's kind of what I'm getting of what they're doing with Angela here. And I mean, I can kind of understand why they're thinking that. But yeah, we'll see how this turns out. She's not going to look like she does in Silent Hill 2 remake, So it's going to be somewhere where they thought she was very exhausted looking. Now, what's interesting is I kind of like this shot, though. I don't like the knife being straight up. I'd prefer it to be on an angle like it was in the remake. But I do like how they show her in a knife here with her mirror reflection in the background. I think that's actually kind of cool how they did that. And that's interesting. He's talking about how they originally had the original PlayStation 2 music on there, kind of like what the first movie had. But then we'll go back there. As he said, he wanted to rescore it for the movie, and my guess is he's using the music he did for the Silent Hill 2 remake, which was all new remixed music, and he's using a lot of the extra stuff as well from that, probably for this movie. So, yeah, it's going to be a mix of new stuff and Silent Hill 2 remake stuff is my guess. Now, this scene here, as we could see, this is when James goes into that little underpass area, and he finds the radio in there. And we also know from behind the scenes that he met a homeless person under there. So my guess is he's talking to the homeless person. He hears this radio go off. He grabs the radio to go out to see what's going on. And, there's a certain order of events. Either he's going to have the lion figure appear before he goes out, but he doesn't have a weapon yet, so I'm not sure how that's going to play out. Maybe the lying figure will run away and then he grabs a weapon out of defense. Who knows? They may kind of mix it up, or maybe he just heard Mary on the radio and that's the reason why he grabs it. I don't know. So we'll see how that goes. So here we go. We've got our first look, full look at a lying figure in this movie. So again, like my first instinct is this is a CG character, right? And it could be. It could be. Uh, or it could be a very thin actor, that's able to contort themselves really well, and they may have digitally removed their arms. I mean, they could have done that. It's not unusual for this one or two shots they may have. You never know. Uh, yeah. So, this pass opening is very low. Like you can't stand up straight in the thing. So I can't see James fighting this thing inside like he did in the game, right? So chances are this guy's going to crawl away. He's going to grab something from here and then use that, because we saw that where he throws something at, we assume this, in the previous behind the scenes video, right? So, and we know that we see this thing crawl under, we assume it's this van, like the manhole that's under this van, right? So and then more behind the scenes, and see this is that same scene, right? So it's not like he can fight under that. But yeah, and you can see it has the same ash look from the first movie, and I've talked before about that, how in terms of the story it doesn't make sense, because the first movie it made sense. The ash represented Alessa being burnt, the coal fire in the town and all that. But this game is kind of, like this movie, like the Silent Hill 2 game, is kind of separating itself as its own story. This is not continuing the story from the first movie at all. This is its own standalone story, which it should be. That's the way the game was as well. But the ash, to me, just, I don't, story wise, doesn't make sense. They're probably just doing it for a visual continuity that he established in the first movie, and that's probably the only reason why. All right, so that's obviously Laura being played by Evie Templeton, who also played Laura in the Silent Hill 2 remake video game, and she was fantastic in that. She's obviously a little older than this compared to the game, because kids grow fast, right? So that's her looking through, I think, a keyhole somewhere. And then you see that's Pyramid Head dragging his knife along the floor. And most likely that's all in the apartments. So yeah, here's like what he was talking about, where some of the new sounds for the movie, right? So, like I said before, my guess was that he chased out the lying figure, it crawled away, and then he grabbed something, and he's looking to see where the hell the thing is. And then it's possible that maybe, I don't know, if the lying figure comes out and spews and kills the homeless guy somehow and melts him away, because we saw it in the previous teaser trailer. It looked like a body that just got hit by acid or something was being melted away lying on the ground. That could be him, and that's a way of doing it without having James take any permanent damage. It's not a video game. He can't just, inject himself or drink a health drink and be good. So, and also, as I mentioned before, he has a pendant on here. That's most likely his picture of Mary that he's carrying instead of like a photograph. And he also has a second pendant on here. And the thought is maybe it's a fan service, channeling stone that he's wearing. It's not probably going to take any role in the movie, but it's just for fan service. So I have no doubt visually the movie would look mostly good. There may be some shots that'll look a little too computery or composited, but I'm pretty sure like the first movie, it'll be a really nice looking movie. Sound wise, I have no doubt the music, Akira's amazing music is gonna be fantastic. I'm gonna freaking love that. It's gonna probably have great sounds for the monsters and everything else. So I have no doubt visually and sound wise, this is going to be a pretty good looking movie. Now, this confirms what we weren't sure about in previous teasers and behind the videos. So this is James in the apartments. Obviously, as we established already, the otherworld has already taken over the whole town. So there isn't probably going to be a Woodside Blue Creek transition. It's probably just the apartments are all in the other world. There's no transition at all whatsoever, and he's just going to carry out the normal events from the games all in the other world. Which, you know what? I mean, I guess that makes sense for time. It just allows them to get a lot more in the movie than they normally could. So this is him being called to something in one of the apartments, and as you can see here, It's the TV with a bunch of VHS tapes on the bottom. So this was obviously meant to be the room with the body in the chair in front of the TV. For whatever reason, they don't have the body in the chair. I don't know why they removed that, but for whatever reason they did. But it looks like they have a mattress here with maybe a body lying on it and something on top of that to cover it, and that's what he finds on there. Who knows why they did that? I'm not sure why they did that. But you can see here, this is the balcony. Like in every apartment, well, most apartments in North America have some kind of balcony like this, So that's where he's going to walk out on, right here, and then there's something going on up there. Maybe he hears a sound or something and works his way up there. My guess is this is the mannequin room where the uh, flashlight is, right? And that's probably where he'll because you can see he doesn't have his flashlight yet. So they're taking the events and kind of reversing them, right? Uh, because normally he gets the flashlight first and then he comes across the TV later on, right? So he'll probably go in here, get the flashlight, and maybe if they have them in this movie, they'll have a mannequin monster. It's possible the mannequins may not be exactly like they are in the games. Maybe they'll be a little different somehow. We did see what looked like a mannequin in the previous teaser trailer, but they may be a little different than what we expect in the game. My guess is it's probably going to have some kind of fake head on it, and then it'll deke him out somehow, or who knows what, right? And then that's Laura, obviously, Evie Templeton. So this scene here looks like it was possibly when they first meet at Rosewater Park, and her, saying to him, "Look, I'm Rio," and she's, goes to touch him, and he's like, "Hey, whoa, back off," kind of thing. Now, I think she looks fine as Maria here. Like, I mean, she's pretty, and she, looks how you would expect Maria to kind of look, with lots of makeup on and the same outfit. It's only the wig that kind of stands out. It's bleached too much. It is what it is. We'll get over it. We'll just watch the movie, and you won't even notice it after the first bit, in my opinion. But as far as all the characters that we've seen, she's the only one with a fully accurate outfit. Like her outfit is pretty close to the game. Like it's not meant to be some kind of high quality outfit. It's kind of meant to be nothing super fancy looking. But she's got the similar skirt and the boots and the top and the midriff. We don't know about the tattoo yet. We'll find that out. But and she's got the choker and everything else. James looks a little different. Obviously, his hair looks different, and he's got a green jacket, but it's like a modern leather jacket instead of like an '80s, military style jacket. But yeah, so this looks like Rosewater Park. They made it into some kind of maze, is from what I can see, and yeah, so they probably just didn't have them meet on the water. They just have them meet in whatever version of Rosewater Park they're doing here. Which I mean, that's fine. As long as they have the location, that's fine. And you can see the ash still falling down. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. Like I mean, I think it'll get a lot of the big events. It's not going to get everything from the games in there, based on everything we've seen here. It's going to have a lot of them. But like my guess is some things like the prison. We probably won't see the prison much at all, if at all, really. The labyrinth, probably not. Like what I mean? Like those kind of things are going to be kind of hard, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe they'll surprise us, but that's a lot of sets to, to build and cover or do virtually, right? So I don't know. Maybe they'll surprise us. The monsters will look different. The similar ideas, but they're going to look a little different. So we'll see. But there you go. So I mean, January 23rd, 2026. A little over, roughly around 3.5 years after it was first announced to us publicly. So there you go. So yeah, I mean, the more I'm seeing it, the more I am excited. Like, look, some things are going to look odd to longtime fans. No matter what, they're going to look different, and we're just going to instantly kind of reject that no matter what. I was like that with the first movie at first. When I watched it at first, I was ticked off at the changes they did make, but I loved a lot of the stuff they did do. And I have a feeling this one's going to be the same. I'm going to be ticked off initially at whatever they changed, and once I get over that and I watch it a second time as its own thing without comparing it one to one to the games, I'll probably enjoy it a lot more. I'm not an all or nothing kind of guy. if they get a lot of things right and it's visually and audio and music is done really well, I can like it just for those reasons alone. You know, it doesn't have to be a one to one perfect, but hopefully it'll be better than we expect. So that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. Yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying Halloween this year. I absolutely loved playing Chronos: The New Dawn and Silent Hill F. Both of those were fantastic. Uh, I don't know if I'll talk about them in another video, but uh, now that I'm kind of past all that, I'm gonna go back to working on my Silent Hill fan-made Silent Hill virtual pinball video game that I've been working on. You can see more about that on my YouTube channel, and maybe I'll do another video about that. Maybe talking about it, play some of it, and just talk about some parts of it, how some of it's made. Maybe my own behind the scenes, like I did last year. You know what I mean? Much has changed, so I can't wait to get back to that. So yeah, so I guess I'll talk to you guys in whatever the next video is. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.